Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful, sunny, warm day here in Santa Barbara. There's just a slight breeze, and I would say the word perfection. And very special that you're here so that I can say, welcome to the Advancement Center, where a new way of being gives rise to many of the events that have been considered impossible in the past. This is not just a hello, this is a very special connection with you. And all these impossible things in the past have just been relegated to fairy tales and make believe and rude awakening when your elementary school teacher admonishes you for gazing out the window and for daydreaming. Yes, because what are you doing? You're looking out the window to nature, where true magic and miracles of the natural world are happening all the time. And you're intrigued. Nothing in the classroom is as exciting. We've all been there. And now we're excited to talk about what's real. And what's real is my communication with Simeon every day in my journal. And today's message, or should I say, Simeon's response to my message, was so beautiful that I'm sure we both feel like extending it to you. So he said, "Dearest Barbara," and I say, "Hello to everyone. You are on the right track to newness, vitality, and freshness of spirit and a bright future." Old baggage should be left out of your life, of your life's journey. Don't borrow anyone else's baggage. Start fresh every morning, a new dawning. Today's is numerically a number 1, a new beginning. Enjoy as never before your experience of joy and satisfaction. Love, Simeon. And I have a note to all listeners. Today, tomorrow, next year, it's on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, that was fun. The barrier between people and their innate skills has been a long-term belief system that was instilled by fear over many thousands of years. And the outcome has been the total neglect of anything that might even be out of the ordinary. Isn't that sad? The loss of these skills in the physical plane will no longer be tolerated, and as a result, the elevation of every being will become the priority in everyone's life. As you become more willing to accept the level of impossibility as the level of resistance, you will disarm the impossible and take it on as the very thing that you are supposed to do. The sudden blank in your mind caused by some unknown internal resistance is the hiding place for the technologies and innate skills that belong to humanity. Within the blank space is the key to everyone's future, and it is available to everyone if it is if it is seen as part of our reality. Impossible is our path to the future, where nothing will be impossible and nothing will be missing in our lives. The future can appear at any moment, and it is not dependent on linear time or progression. Parts of the future have appeared in the past and have seemed to be an isolated event with no logical circumstance to support them in any way. These things have happened to bring you to a level of acceptance that allows the impossible of the future to be as accepted as real. This will continue, but the main part of our life will be headed towards breaking the barrier that holds us from these unique skills. Pardon me, I'm having a hard time focusing today, so bear with me, please. This is such valuable information. So let me start this again. This will continue, but the main part of our life will be headed towards breaking the barrier that holds us from the unique skills that are part of our heritage. It is a little bit like walking in the dark and attempting to fire up the neurons that have been dormant in our entity since the beginning of time. But there is a little clue that has remained with us since before the beginning of time as we know it. The world of fantasy and imagination has always held the truth of many of our amazing attributes. You see why I can't leave this out? And even if it's a little bit of a struggle for me reading this, it's so well worth it because this is your heritage. This is your future. This is the history of humanity which has been used to train us into isolation from our own skills. If it is recorded as a fantasy or a deep imagination, it is available for us to pursue, providing we maintain the direction that is lighthearted and amazing to our spirit. The doors are not closed. It is all your reality and all your innate skills that are presented to you to allow you to resurrect the real entity that is hiding behind a barrier that no longer exists. What was once a hidden world is now your treasure chest of the future. That's the whole message. That's the purpose of the Advancement Center. That's what we say to you 6 days a week. And I add all my love and appreciation because this is all happening now. And I continue. Let us look further and see that there are limitations associated with every fantasy that will arise as soon as we apply any magic to our pursuit. This is the very thing that is instilled in our being to make us police ourselves into oblivion. There is no future to even considering some process to remove these limitations. The limitations are formed in a world where your innate gifts cannot be applied without reaction. We all know that, don't we? You meet up with reaction and you back away. And only the strong willed come close and attempt it again and again. The complete structure of that world will be left behind as we walk towards the impossible and watch it go up in smoke. Each one of us will weave a path that is unique to our being, and we will find things appearing out of nowhere with the purpose of a relationship to logic or logical sequences in our world. This is the magic that gives support to your skills, allows you to live full time in the world of magic and miracles. From that place, everything is possible and nothing is rejected for any reason. Let's see, is there more here? Yeah, this goes here. I got to get organized here. Oh, here we go. Okay, thank you for being so patient because now I'm back on track. Our Advancement Center team, each in their own experience, share their own awakenings to the magic of life, and then share their miracles with all of us. I am living my miracle with the limitless joy of sharing my life with Robert Young, who has stated many times that he gifts his words to the world and they become mine to share with you. Last week, I discovered what I know is the discovery of a lifetime. When I came across a lost treasure, I likened it to the lost Ark of the Covenant, or the lost covenant of the Ark. I'm not sure which is right. Here You Are is the title of the book that I shared on my broadcast last Sunday, and that was June 16th, 24, on YouTube. So it's there in my name, and now I will read it to the end. And I'm picking it up on page 7. The human entity accepts everything and has no judgment about any part of the physical experience. The complete and uncluttered interconnection to the overall entity of humanity provides all the guidance required for all aspects of human existence. The miracle of recovery under circumstances that seem to be impossible comes directly from the entity and the plan for the cycle of the life concerned. It is not by chance that each person is where they are at the present time, doing what they are doing. There is an unknown force controlling their destiny and placing circumstances in their field to bring about movement and change that is beyond their realization. This is the work of the entity of humanity that is received by each human entity and delivered to the physical world for execution. The power of the entity of humanity is enormous, and the acceptance of each human entity will provide access to this power. There is no need for control and no need for knowledge. The perfection of the human experience can only be disturbed by knowledge, criticism, and control, none of which are available to the human entity. Remain as a human entity, and you will see the dissipation of world programming, even when circumstances seem to be undesirable. This sounds like a task, but it is only a sense of realization that allows spirit to take over and deliver what is needed in your life. Here You Are by Robert Young. And now on to chapter 3. The simplicity of who you are and how you operate is the key to harmony and perfection. It is only by simplicity that you can bypass complexities and gain access to the high level language of spirit that pervades all creation and allows much into the realms beyond our logic. The mastery of life is formed by simplicity in a harmony that dances in the eyes of humanity and brings joy beyond belief to the lives of everyone. Simplicity now reveals itself as the ultimate tool in the communication with spirit and the ultimate connection with the overall entity of humanity. Simplicity is not only a language, it is a state that allows each human entity to realize its position in the universe and follow the directions and guidance of the entity of humanity. The simplicity of a child can change the world, and the simplicity of an adult can change the universe. And he ends with Here You Are by Robert Young. On to chapter 4. If we ignore what has been said so far, it is easy to see that the programs that hold our regular life in place are nothing but a series of limitations that act like cattle prods. If we get outside the limits set by the programs, we feel the sting of the prod and are forced back within the limits. Much of what we think is based on the outcome of our actions and the reaction of those who police our performance, be it family, friends, or some external authorities. The complexities that come out of this simple truth are amazing. And the pressure that is built between opposing personalities that rise out of these complexities created a world of suffering that was never meant to enter our lives. History and science have shown us the perfect way to justify everything by diagnoses and analysis. But the world we live in has been forgotten as the major part of the formula. The earth and its physical attributes are a part of our world, but not the part that ensures that we are a species belonging to an entity that works beyond the physical realms. Science and its administrators act as if they are the total authority on the workings of all things known to humanity and continue to teach humanity its limited consideration of how everything works. As extensive as this may be, it is a small drop in the ocean compared to the knowing and capability of the human entity to which we are all connected. To bring everything back into perspective, it is important to know that the human body is the most advanced of all scientific instruments, measuring devices, indicators, and computers on this earth. Left to our own resources, we know when it's going to rain, when there is an earthquake on the way, when there is danger, when there is a problem, when the phone is about to ring, when there is a bad person in the room, what our child or friend is thinking, and many more. In addition to this, there is a mystical part to our nature that can change reality and produce physical anomalies that are not accepted by science. We are at a point where the electromagnetic field has changed in our favor, and all the abilities that were relatively unknown to society are now available for our use and enjoyment. Unlike the past, however, there is not a school for practice and learning. Each capability is natural and unique for each person and not controlled in a way that can be described in a class or workshop. Please forgive me, but hear what's being given. Nowhere else can you hear these words. They are life itself. There is an enormous amount of data that we hold for one another that can be disseminated through our field as we hold one another's attention in normal, lighthearted, or elevated conversation. And it's available to us at all times. Know simplicity, and you will reside in a world of joy and acceptance that you have never known before. Here you are once again in a place that is familiar and many ways beyond belief. The simplicity of not having to know how anything works leaves the need to believe behind, and the familiar feeling at of the dance reveals spirit in a way that cannot be denied. That is so beautiful. I'm going to read it straight this time. The simplicity of not having to know how anything works leaves the need to believe behind. And the familiar feeling of the dance reveals spirit in a way that cannot be denied. Wow. I've read this about 100 times, and each time it's thrilling. For the first time in all the ages, there is no need for reasoning, as simplicity reaches beyond the stars and delivers the majesty that only spirit can describe. With unlimited elegance, the dance of humanity presents itself on the screen of life, and the spirit of each person rises to celebrate the perfect language that is never spoken. The practical interface with the world has no value anymore, as it is from the source of all things that our interface is controlled. As part of the high level language of simplicity, spirit communicates to all things the exact requirements for harmony and adventure. The outcome does not determine a new set of rules and continues to astonish us at every turn. The actions of spirit have always astounded humanity, and once the spirit is aroused, there is no limit to what can be achieved by the human species. Even at a ball game, a home run will suddenly excite the spirit of the fans and drive them out of their seats without notice. A broken leg or frailness of body will not stop someone leaping out of their chair. Spirit has no consideration of human limitation. That's a bumper sticker. And never causes harm as it proceeds to outstretch all limits. Here you are. By Robert Young. In addition to this, there is another way of working that will allow you to step beyond all limitation and attract the power of humanity as your unknown ally in every venture in your life. In the initial stages of this discovery, there will be many different responses and reactions that are not considered in any way. All logic must go out the window, and simplicity must take its place as the commander of all events. In simple terminology, and you can quote Robert because he's got quotation marks around here. If it is hard work, then you are doing it wrong. And once again, what Elizabeth said last week, which is more true than ever, is Robert is the living connection to bring you back into the world of your Creator. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to just share these words with you. Because you cannot hear them without feeling them deeply within your spirit. I think at this moment, we should close with an all-encompassing wish for your perfect life, your perfect health, and a future unencumbered with anything except spirit. So much love. Thank you for joining me. I am Barbara.